7 on the nose. All right. Hopefully we got a quick one here. I always say that though, so no promises. Okay. Got a Kdenlive project here going. Got a video file here I rendered out. You can already tell by this green blob there's an issue with it. Now, this issue is because basically the screencast that I do with ffmpeg and the X11 grab, they need the initial keyframe. Basically, everything is down the road based off that initial keyframe, from what I gather, from my understanding how this works. So that initial keyframe is key, more or less. There are keyframes set every set number of frames, I guess is what I want to say, in certain codecs, but it doesn't appear to be the case with my ffmpeg casts. It appears that only the initial keyframe gets set, and then after that, it's just a lot of this. So no matter what, I mean, there's no extra keyframes. Now you might think, oh no, my project's ruined. What I'm going to do to remedy this is open my project in Kdenlive. Right now, I'm hooked up pretty close to the 0 time marker. I'm at the 5-second mark. All right, is where my project starts, it looks like. What I usually like to do is give myself some padding at the beginning of a project. It seems to help more often than it would hurt. I don't really know how it would hurt your flow of anything, but in cases like this, it's really going to help you. Because if you got a lot of other tracks going on, moving a whole project in like 30 seconds or even a minute is a pain. So just by default, maybe from the get-go, give yourself some padding. I guess that's a tip. I'm not a professional video editor by any means, but that has seemed to work out for me a couple times already, so I can't see it actually hurting anyone. So someone out there thinks it does, let me know, and let me know the case in which that would. Alright, so you can see this is not playing in Kden either. So I was like, oh man, my project, it's ruined! It's ruined! It's all blobby! Until, select the first frame and zoom in until you can grab a hold of the edge. Zoom in until you can grab a hold of the edge. Start dragging that sucker out. Alright, here we go. Drag it as far as it can drag. And that looks like about it. Alright. It's like I only cut off a little bit on the beginning. Now watch this. Put your cursor or playhead before the clip, hit play, and watch the magic happen. Realistically, you could have put the playhead right at the edge of the clip and that still would have worked, just as long as it was before the clip. And that initial keyframe gets loaded. And now you can see I can scrub anywhere in the project. And I got my video. So what I'm going to do is undo that, not undo it, Brandon. I'm going to undo that. So we're back. Now, one thing you'll notice is now that that initial keyframe has been loaded into Kden, I can go back and crop this to the initial size or the initial point I had it at. And it's still going to be able to scrub through. What I'm going to do instead, though, is I'm going to go to the beginning clip. I'm going to add a guide. So start, and then we're going to go to the end. There we go, and then we're going to put a guide here. It's like having these markers because it's really easy to click on and make sure the playhead's where you want it. We're going to set the end zone. I'm going to click here. I'm at the zone start. Hit my end zone. I'm going to do the in zone first and then out. So I don't think it matters. As long as you see it in the timeline that the zone is highlighted, you should be all right. I'm going to save this project. All right, let's render this out. It shouldn't take too long. We'll see. Fingers crossed. We're going to do selected zone. Render to file. If this is going to take longer than a minute, then I'm going to bail, which it probably will. Okay, this is just to follow up with the rendering after it was finished. So looks like it took about 11 minutes. And check out the video. Now, one thing you'll notice is the preview here. You can usually tell valid MP4 video files by the thumbnail. So let's go ahead and open this. Looks good. That's, I mean, an easy fix. Just extend your clip the beginning so you get that keyframe. I mean, that's the case if you're doing a screencast. This might be the case with just screencast on Linux that use the X11 grab input interface. I'm not sure, but this is just how I went about fixing some of those issues with the keyframe. I mean, you could re-encode it after you record the screencast, but I mean, you're going to be doubling your encoding time because it's like you got to encode it before you can edit it and then re-encode it. So it might be better to just put a little padding on the front of your project to mitigate the keyframe issue. Okay, that concludes this one. That's it.